Hey guys, Explanation Pros here. Today I'll explain a horror fantasy film titled Goosebumps. Spoilers incoming. The film opens with the mother and son from New York moving to Madison, Delaware. The mother, Gail, is taking a job as vice principal in this small town, while Zach has no choice but to follow where his mother will work. After being welcomed by his Aunt Lorraine in their house, Zach unloads the boxes from the car. While taking the boxes to the house, Zach meets his new neighbor, Hannah, and briefly talks with her. After that, Hannah's father appears, telling Zach to stay away. Inside the house, Zach tells her mom and aunt about the rude neighbor. Zach immediately goes to his room to watch a camera recording of his and his father's time together. In the next scene, Gail delivers her son to the new school. Zach tells her that she should at least give him a minute to walk off so that the other kids will not see him related to the vice principal. Afterwards, the students gather in the gym to meet the new vice principal. After sitting beside him, Champ, called Chump by his crush, introduces himself to Zach. Later that day, Hannah talks to Zach while he is throwing away garbage. Zach tells her that he has not seen her at school, and Hannah replies that she's homeschooled. Hannah then invites Zach to follow her, leading him to an abandoned amusement park deep inside the woods. Upon lighting the whole place up, Hannah and Zach climb the unmoving Ferris wheel to sit on one of its compartments. They then bond together while atop the Ferris wheel. Afterwards, they go home, with Zach thanking Hannah for the experience. However, Hannah's father reappears again to warn Zach to stay away from them. The same night, while he is studying, Zach overhears Hannah arguing with her father. After the argument seems to have turned for the worse, Zach immediately rushes to the house next door to come rescue Hannah. However, upon opening the door, Hannah's father tells Zach that there was no scream, immediately closing it after. Zach then heads to his mother, telling Gail that Hannah might be in trouble, but Gail is more concerned about who Hannah is. Zach then calls the police on his mother's phone. Afterward, the police arrive at Hannah's residence for a possible domestic disturbance. Hannah's father tells them an excuse, and the police accept this. They are about to leave when they hear a scream. Hannah's father reveals that he's just watching a movie with surround sounds. However, Zach insists that Hannah is in trouble, to which the police decide to take him out of the house. Gail reprimands Zach for filing a false report, while the police think that Zach is on drugs. A furious Zach leaves the scene. Later on, Gail has to leave Zach at the house because she has to supervise the school's dance, which is why Aunt Lorraine comes back to watch Zach. While Lorraine is talking, Zach is fuming about what happened earlier. However, he sees the silhouettes of Hannah and her father, proving that Hannah is indeed at the house. Because of this, Zach tells his aunt not to disturb him because he will study all night in his room. He's actually escaping to talk to Champ. Champ is on his way to the dance when he gets stopped by Zach, who tells Champ to follow him. After following, Champ gets disappointed that there are no girls, and Zach tells him that he needs help rescuing one in a psychopath's house. He then tells Champ that he called Hannah's father to go to the police station. After seeing Hannah's father leave in a car, the two proceed to break into the basement of the unguarded house. Zach enters alone because Champ is supposed to be on the lookout. However, Champ follows Zach because he's scared of being alone outside. After Zach lectures Champ that he's not going to die, they notice that the basement is full of bear traps. After safely maneuvering through the bear traps, the two proceeded to enter the house's dining room. They then climb the stairs to the second floor, heading straight to the dark room where Hannah is supposed to be. After hearing a noise, they stumble upon a collection of locked Goosebumps books, with Champ insisting on opening it. Just then, Hannah comes swinging at them with a baseball bat. Hannah asks if they have opened a book, and Zach replies yes, taking the unlocked book. However, Hannah shouts not to open it, but it still gets opened. Upon opening it, the book summons the creature within it, the abominable snowman of Pasadena. At first, the monster explores the objects in the house, but Champ accidentally knocks over a lamp, turning the monster's attention towards him. Champ screams while the monster rushes at him, but Champ gets saved by Zach. The monster comes following out of the house. Hannah, Zach, and Champ follow the monster. Meanwhile, another book gets unlocked. Despite Champ's protest that it is dangerous, Zach still follows Hannah. Zach and Champ follow her to an ice rink, where they see Hannah standing in the middle of it, with the book. After the monster emerges from above, Hannah unlocks the book, alarming the monster. The monster manages to swipe the book away. After Zach successfully secures the book away from the monster, they run again, but they manage to knock the monster down by closing the door at it. But like the Undertaker, it quickly regains consciousness. The monster desperately tries to reach them, destroying the glass that separates it from the gang. Just as the monster is about to reach them, it turns to Wink, showing that Hannah's father is behind the monster with an open book. The monster then gets sucked into the book. After this, Hannah's father shouts at them to get in his car. Inside the car, Hannah's father reiterates his warning to Zach, telling him that he could have at least chosen another much easier book. Zach then realizes that he is R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebump books, but Stine denies this. Zach then mocks Stine's writing that he's a try-hard Stephen King. This comment angers Stine, telling him that it's the other way around, but because of this, he just outright admitted that he is indeed R.L. Stine. After getting to their house, Stine tells them to forget about what happened, telling his daughter afterward to start packing because they're moving again. Zach and Champ sneak inside the house again, with Zach confronting Stine to explain how something like this is happening. Due to bullying, he created these creatures as his friends when he was just a child. However, the monsters inadvertently became real. When the father and daughter climb to the room of the disheveled Goosebump books, they find one book open. The creature released is Slappy the Dummy, a creepy ventriloquist doll. Slappy asks Stine what they should do, but upon realizing that Stine wants to pull him back to his book, Slappy gets angry. Because of this, Slappy burns the book where he came from and escapes, taking all of Stine's book with him. Slappy then opens and subsequently burns 2 books. One of the books summons living gnomes. The creepy gnomes then attack Stine and the kids from all sides. While they defeat the gnomes immediately by shattering them, the gnomes became whole again after getting broken. Stine and the kids head to the basement and then outside, locking the gnomes inside the house. They then see that Slappy burns the books after opening them, making them impossible to return. Slappy is releasing monsters left and right while driving hastily through the town. Slappy then stops by the police station to freeze the police officers with Mr. Freeze-looking creatures. Stine and the kids drive through the destroyed town. Zach tells Stine to write a single manuscript to capture all the creatures. Stine then tells him that he needs a special typewriter. He then tells Zach that it is stored in the local school. Meanwhile, the students at the school are having a party. In the next scene, the gang heads to the school. While discussing the lack of signal, they get briefly attacked by the invisible boy before Stine manages to leave it behind. However, afterwards, they encounter another monster, a giant mantis. The mantis chases them through the town. They then reach a supermarket, but their car accidentally flips over. Luckily, they escape to the supermarket before the mantis dismantles the vehicle. Hannah then tells Zach that they can reach the school by cutting through the cemetery. After knowing that Hannah sneaks in every night, Stine grounds her. They then keep moving, with Champ taking a bottle of soda. They then encounter a wolfman, but it gets alarmed when Champ opens up his soda. The gang splits up to escape the wolfman. Stine attempts to hide his scent by putting a ludicrous amount of body spray, but he still stinks. The gang manages to get outside of the supermarket, but they eventually get cornered by the wolfman. Just as the wolfman is approaching them, it gets hit by Aunt Lorraine's car. Stine momentarily thanks Lorraine for saving them. At the same time, an attraction forms between them. The gang then head to the cemetery. In the cemetery, Stine asks Champ's name and Champ replies that it's short for champion. On the other hand, Zach and Lorraine flirt around. As they are about to kiss, Lorraine suddenly glows under the full moon, confusing Zach. However, this gets cut short when ghouls start appearing from everywhere. Luckily, they escape. Meanwhile, Lorraine gets frozen in the police station. Zach pulls Stine aside upon reaching the school, asking him if Hannah doesn't know she's real. Stine then says that Hannah is real to him as she eases Stine's loneliness in the world. Shortly after, Hannah arrives to tell her father that they found his typewriter. Stine then separates from the group to find someplace to write. The three, on the other hand, will attempt to warn the partying students. Zach meets Gail, asking her to tell the students to barricade the school. Champ gets a hold of the microphone and passes it to Zach. Zach then tells the audience that monsters have invaded them, but he gets mocked by a student. The same student, however, gets pulled by the mantis from earlier. Outside, Slappy watches the destruction unfold while the gnomes open every book. In an attempt to buy Stine some time to write, the students barricade each exit. The summoned monsters, on the other hand, charge toward the school to kill Stine. Monsters of various shapes and sizes manage to break through the entrance. While this is happening, Champ sees his crush about to be attacked by the wolfman. Champ gets over his cowardice, holding the wolfman off. After managing to fight the wolfman off, his crush hugs and then kisses him. Meanwhile, Stine gets attacked by Slappy just as he is about to finish, breaking his fingers in the process. After hearing an announcement to evacuate the storage room, Stine, Zach, Hannah run to get there, but not before encountering monsters' giant plants. They manage to fight them off. However, Champ sees that Hannah is a ghost, but Zach tells him he doesn't care. The students manage to reach the storage room. While panic ensues, Stine has the idea to sacrifice himself because he is the monster's target. However, Zach also has an idea. Afterward, Stine gets to a school bus and drives away, luring the monsters away from the school. The mantis catches the bus, flipping it to its side. However, the bus is actually just a decoy, an explosive one. Stine is actually driving another bus with the kids. Seeing the explosion, they celebrate because the plan worked. They eventually stop by the abandoned amusement park with Stine's fingers broken. He dictates the remaining story to Zach, They decide to do it inside the funhouse. Meanwhile, the monsters return to life after the explosion, while the Wolfman is being instructed by Slappy to follow Stein's scent. While writing the remaining story in the funhouse as dictated by Stein, Slappy appears out of nowhere. Slappy goes on a monologue about how Stein neglected him within the pages of a book. Slappy then releases a monster he's been saving, the blob that ate everyone. They then head to the Ferris wheel. Stein instructs Zack to finish the manuscript while he holds the blob off. Shortly after, the blob captures Stein. After noticing that the manuscript is not in Stein's hands, the monster converged to the Ferris wheel. Just then, Zack finishes the book. However, the mantis knocks the Ferris wheel off its stand, making it roll with the kids inside. Finally, the wheel gets stuck in between two trees. Hannah then tells Zack that he needs to open the book because all the monsters are fast approaching. Zack realizes that all monsters mean that Hannah will be gone as well, so he tries to explain what will happen to Hannah. Hannah, however, already knows that she was a monster a long time ago. As monsters approach them, Zack hesitates to do it, but Hannah opens the book. The monsters get sucked inside the book, with Zack holding Hannah so she wouldn't get sucked in. However, Zack must let go, and Hannah kisses him for the first and last time before disappearing into the book. In the next scene, students flock to the school as everything seems to be back to normal. Gil delivers Zack again to school, but Zack wants to go in with his mom this time. Meanwhile, Stein enters the class with his girlfriend Lorraine. Stein is now an English teacher. While walking away, Stein reveals that he has written another book, thus returning his daughter, Hannah. The film ends with Stein seeing his typewriter being used by the Invisible Boy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.